Hello everyone, nice to see familiar faces. So back to yoga class where we're going to consider Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 text 66 and we're going to read the text and response and we'll go from there.
If you'd like, we can start with standard invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Sarva Dharmang Paratyajya.
Sarvadharman Parityagya.
Mamekam Saranam Vraja.
Mamekam Sharanam Praja.
Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo.
Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo.
Mokshayasmi Masucha.
Mokshayishami Masucha.
And again?
Yeah, sure.
Or anyone would like to lead?
Sarvadharman Parikajya.
Sarvadharman Parityajya.
Mamekam Saranam Vraja.
Mamekam Saranam Vraja.
Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo.
Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo.
Mokshayishami Masucha.
Mokshayishami Masucha.
Okay, so word for word. Sarvadharman,
Sarvadharman.
all varieties of religion.
All varieties of religion.
Parityajya,
Parityajya.
abandoning.
Abandoning.
Mam,
Unto me.
ekam, only. Saranam, surrender. Vraja, go. Aham, I. Dvam, you. Sarva, all. Papebhya, from sinful reactions. Mokshayishyami, deliver. Ma, not. Sucha, worry. Translation. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. And I'll read the purport. The Lord has described various kinds of knowledge, processes of religion, knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of the Supersoul, knowledge of the different types of orders and statuses of social life, knowledge of the renounced order of life, knowledge of non-attachment, sense of mind control, meditation, etc. He has described in so many ways different types of religion. Now, in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that Arjuna should give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reactions. For the Lord personally promises to protect him. In the 8th chapter, it was said that only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus, one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions. Simply by the process of surrendering to Sri Krishna, he is automatically freed. There is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order. But if, by executing his duty, one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances, Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis of his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes freed from all contamination of material nature. There are different processes of religion and purification processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation in the mystic yoga system, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he is all-attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attracted to the impersonal Brahman vision. Some of them are attracted by the supersoul features, etc. But one who is attracted to the personal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and above all, one who is attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself, is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna in full consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge. And this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Karma yogis, empiric philosophers, mystics, and devotees are all called transcendentalists. But one who is a pure devotee is the best of all. The particular words used here, ma sucha, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed as to how one can give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender unto Krishna. But such worry is useless. Yes. Joy, powerful verse. Before I get started, I'll mention that I'm inviting you to really engage your discernment, healthy skepticism, and open-mindedness. And part of the reason is that I'm certainly no expert in this material. And what I'm expert at is jumping at the deep end. Okay, so there are four very significant aspects to this verse, and I'm interested in going through all four, and starting with abandon all varieties of religion. And so this is it says, and well, it is supported in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Okay, all I've been speaking about in the last 18 verses, well, you can abandon all this, because the next stage is what matters, surrender. And it's like, okay, well, you might as well have gone straight there. And what that invokes to me is this principle in the foundational seminar, the principle of consciousness in the result. So if as I connect with clear intention to the result, and here the result is surrender unto Krishna, then all the principles and processes may become a manifestation of this clear intention. They're no longer a means to achieve the result. And that also brings me to the distinction between form and essence. So something most students of Sattva will be familiar with is empathic listening. So empathic listening, reflective listening, this is the form. This is the form. We use the form, oh, maybe you're feeling anxious because you're going to give class this morning. And so that would be an empathic response. And this is the form. And the essence is empathy entering your world with wedge, warmth, empathy, genuineness. And that is the essence. And sometimes the essence only requires just a smile. And that is an empathic response because the essence is embodied. And so this is what I'm understanding from the first quarter of this verse. And then abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. So my sense is that this is the essence, this is the core of bhakti. Just surrender unto the source, surrender unto the supreme person, and that's it. Then everything else is non-essential. Everything else is the form. This is the essence. And I find that interesting. So I understand that principle, and I have given myself to this. Over Christmas, I did a retreat, a yearly retreat, but this year I made it a bhakti retreat. And over the course of 8 full days, I chanted 333 rounds. So that was really giving it my whole. And the experience was mostly of enthusiasm and keenness to understand, and just there's such juice in there, and realization of the person, the supreme personality of Godhead. This is just not present for me. It's just. And so that's a huge barrier for surrender. And a few days ago I had a conversation with David Wolf. and I was sharing exactly this. Oh, I don't have a realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can I surrender to Him with a capital H? And David, let's see if that is breaking confidentiality. David responded, "Yeah, I'm too endeavoring to realize Krishna as a person, and I've got a lot more realizations than 40 years ago." That was David's response, and so I'm understanding. Like Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, the process of surrendering. It's not just, okay, a click of fingers and okay, I'll choose just to surrender. Surrender to to what, to whom? I remember when I first got in contact with Hare Krishna, the sound Hare Krishna, and that was definitely 20 years ago. I was in Rishikesh and I was staying in an ashram, and the ashram next door, it was Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And I thought it was Mr. and Mrs. Krishna having a son called Harry. Well, not quite that bad, but I thought, what are they doing? Just repeating these words. Where is that gonna take them? And I had a bit of a more than doubt. It was actually they've lost their way. Well, how is that going to serve them? Mm-hmm. And now I'm understanding the process and using what is said to be transcendental sound, so beyond the three gunas, beyond the material modes. This is transcendental sound, and through the use of this transcendental sound, then maybe realizations will grow. I say maybe because it's too early for me to really make a definite point. Yes, this is definitely happening, and I appreciate for some of you, maybe most of you, that is the truth. The realization is developing with these sacred words. Another thing around surrender. So when we were choosing this text to study today with David Wolf, we considered the previous verse, 65, and in the translation it says, I promise to come to you without fail, because you are my very dear friend. And then and there, as I was reading that, I was touched. A good friend of mine recently shared with me how he's looking for elderhood in his life as guidance, as a wise holding presence to support him in his journey to self-realization. And I'm connecting to that also because you're my very dear friend, and coming from such huge authority, and that is really touching me. It's touching me because I do experience the longing of being held, the God-shaped hole in my heart. That was speaking to that, and that God-shaped hole in my heart that I'm trying to fill with other shapes that don't quite fit. And it's very sweet that Srila Prabhupada says, no need for strenuous effort. Yeah. Okay, and so the third aspect is, I'll deliver you from all sinful reactions. Basically, I'll clear karma for you. Mm-hmm. And that is, I come from a Buddhist tradition, and it's like work. A lot of hard work, verging on penance, really. And it has served me, and it is still serving me. And now Krishna says, yeah, I'll just deliver you from it. All that is required is surrender. Just surrender, as spoken before. And what I'm getting from this, I'll deliver you from karma. Is that if I really surrender, if I fully surrender, then then every moment I am in that space of loving devotion, and my heart is just full of love and continuous and continuous and continuous, not affected by the lower modes or by any modes of material nature. So this love is Chula Sattva, the transcendental mode. And and if that's all there is, then karma, of course, is cleared. It's like even if something wanted to come up, it's just purified by that love that is continuously here. So this is how I'm understanding that he's clearing karma for me. It's not like it's taking responsibility. Oh, okay, I'll surrender, and then I'm all free. Well, no. I still have 100% responsibility for how I'm showing up, for my surrender, for love in my heart. And then the last aspect is do not fear, do not worry, do not hesitate, just go for it, just do it. And yes, yesterday I had a conversation with David Kaplan, and yeah, we got on to exploring my journey with bhakti, and I was saying, yeah, I've got lots of blockages to prostrate myself in front of the altar, or even chanting. I'm really going slowly with this. And actually I really appreciated Kirtan this morning. That was really high energy, and that is really supportive for me to really engage in the joy of Kirtan. Yeah, thank you Parampara, particularly. So in my sharing with David, I was realizing, yes, all those fears, fear of being abused, fear of being taken, led astray from truth, because truth is what I'm after. I'm dedicated to truth, and now it's like, oh right, there's this path. Nobody told me about this. If somebody had told me, I probably would have dismissed it because I wasn't ready. And so it's this whole thing of, and now I'm finding all my fears, and those are coming from the lower modes of yeah, not surrendering, not trusting my own inner guidance, not being sufficiently connected with super soul, where the truth is just right here within. So I appreciate the progression in this verse. Abandon all religion, do not fear, do not hesitate, and surrender, and I'll clear it all for you. And also, yes, abandoning all those principles that have been described. And I'm realizing through the verse and through studying about surrender, well, yeah, but because right now where I'm at is surrender is not just a click of fingers. And then all those processes are supporting me in making that shift from consciousness into obstacles, like the fear, into consciousness into the results, and all those processes, all those religion practices and personal development, doing the heavy lifting of the work, and choosing sattva as the realm in which I will function, in the realm of eating, in the realm of sleeping, in the realm of associations, then all these aspects will make this leap of jumping into clearer intention, conscious, clear intention, and consciousness in the result, and move towards clear, conscious, not whimsical surrender. Yeah. So I'll stop here. This is what I have to share about this verse. This is how I was inspired, and I am at this time I'm inviting sharings, something that may have moved you, questions, considerations, anything, and I'll endeavor to enter your world. I'm really interested, and of course, that applies to you all online. Thank you for giving your power of hearing for Bhagavad Gita.
May I ask you to read the verse again?
Yes, I can read the verse again. Thank you, Rosemary. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Parampara.
I'm sure I had sandwich too, but I was in front of you talking.
Yeah.
Thank you for your class, Dr. Sylvan Prabhu. And I like people's like first classes or early classes. Sometimes more that I'd rather hear from you than like some other classes. So like fresh and alive, and
Yeah.
it's enlivening to hear your process and your like realizations and where you're at, because I was there and in many ways still am, and that's whole process and everything like that. And so I was appreciating what you were sharing about surrender and being a process and not it's not just a snap of the fingers. And I was thinking about spiritually surrender to God or to Krishna. Here in society we have like marriage, which is something like that. It's like surrendering to another person, surrendering some sovereignty, some freedom, surrendering lots of things to another person, and kind of committing to another person. And I was thinking like, yeah, that is, it's not just a snap of the fingers. It is an everyday choice. Like, actually just saw this some media, nothing transcendental about it, but can always find something there. Some media, and they were talking about marriage, and she was, we need to choose to love each other each day. That's what it comes down to. And so yeah, I was resonating with that. And I'll suggest also that that everyday like ongoing process does include a snap of the fingers. It's not just a snap of the fingers, but I would say it does include a snap of the fingers. And at some point, I say I commit to this person, or I make a declaration, or in the context of marriage. Let's say I'm saying for marriage. Let's say it's like it includes some like, okay, I'm gonna propose. We're gonna do this. Like it's happening like that. So So that's what I thought to share. It came up for me that it could include a snap of the fingers, but not only consist of a snap of the fingers.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. So you're appreciating the freshness of this class coming from a novice. and you're relating to the process of surrendering and also the click of the finger, and you're bringing it to this thing around marriage and dedicating your life to this person with this person. And I appreciate you touching on emphasizing the click of the finger, the importance of the click of the finger, and that reminds me of what we discover in the foundational seminar of the quantum jump. There's a moment where I imagine most of you know of it, but I'll touch on it briefly. There's a field of electrons. There's a bunch of electrons on a field, and in the field of electrons, and the scientists have spotted that this electron has moved from one field to another, and so they studied. They studied. Okay, where, how did that happen? Which path did the electron use to go from the one field to the other? And they found no path, no material path, and it's known as the quantum jump, and that is the snap of the finger. This is, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen, and and so it's that moment of choice. Okay, now I'm empowered, I make the choice, and I go for the marriage, and I go for surrender. Thank you, Parampara.
Matura has his hand. Is there someone online?
There is someone online, and I can get back to you in a moment.
Matura, then Damayanti.
Yes. So, is your name Tora?
Matura.
Matura. Thank you, Matura.
Yeah, nice. Thank you for your class. It's very touching, and I'm just sensing you're sharing from the heart. Just so nice. Something I was contemplating this morning is, what does it mean to really be humble? And that's my sense is you're not trying to be something right now but yourself. So to truly be humble means to really be authentic. Because we're not trying to be somebody we're not. Right? When we're proud, I'm trying to be somebody, something more than I am. So that authenticity is very important in our spiritual process. And Krishna's looking to have an authentic relationship. If we're trying to be somebody we're not in the relationship, because we're talking about also, this is a process, and I appreciated the conversation you mentioned between you two, where there was, an authenticity, a vulnerability of like, I think is that what you said, I haven't really gotten that Krishna's fully a person yet. But I've made a lot of progress in that.
Or at least 1 millimeter of progress.
Yeah.
But even that millimeter is satisfying.
Yes. So I have something. I didn't realize something. So beautiful that also somebody who's senior can be actually quite authentic and humble. And I think that is missing in a lot of leadership, is where if the leaders are not actually being authentic and vulnerable and humble in their dealings, even when they're speaking, they're not sharing, this is what I'm struggling with. Top down comes, then people are like, well, I shouldn't speak about really what's happening for me. Because it's not coming, they don't do it, so okay, let's just try to act like we're all advanced, which then really puts a block in our spiritual life.
Thank you, Matura. I appreciate your sharing specifically around humility. Yes, so you're sensing. Thank you for your appreciation of me speaking from where I'm at, rather than pretending I know what I'm talking about. and also you're relating to David, how David is showing humility, having 40 years of experience and leading, and yeah, I resonate with that. I'm deeply inspired by David's shows of humility, and you're talking about that point of Krishna. We're talking about relating to Krishna, and so if I don't show up authentically, well, he hasn't got no one to have a relationship with, so he's just not going to bother naturally.
So that's where it goes from a process to more of a relationship. Because a lot of the time we're thinking, I'm trying to advance, I'm trying to progress in this process, but sometimes we're missing this as a relationship. And the relationship really happens when there's that sacred, that humility, which creates like a connection.
So am I hearing that sometimes you're noticing that in your process, in your bhakti process, that you might miss the point that it is relationship? Is there an experience of yours?
I have that experience all the time. And then I go, I'm struggling. Oh yeah, Krishna, I'm supposed to be talking to you right now and revealing my heart and my mind and sharing, like not trying. And then the other aspect is, if I'm trying, you mentioned something like doing the heavy lifting. So a lot of time, if I'm trying to do the heavy lifting, I'm thinking, I'm the one that's supposed to do this. But it actually comes by Krishna's doing the heavy lifting. And that we think a lot of time, I'm supposed to go out and get Krishna. But this is a descending process. We let Krishna in. And so when we let Krishna in, we're allowing him to do the work. And I'm just saying, Krishna, I need you. I need your shelter. And that's coming from that really humble, authentic place of like, I can't do this. I need you so badly.
Thank you. Yeah, it is relating. It is relating to something that Haripriya mentioned during the recent foundational seminar. I wrote it down somewhere. Anyway, I think I will remember. She mentioned a quote. I don't know who it's by. You may know. So that's the other side of humility. So there is humility is often talking from coming down from Raja. So but there is also coming sort of up from tamas. And the quote is, humility is not about thinking less of myself. It is thinking of myself less. And to me that relates to what you were saying. It's not about me doing the heavy lifting and I need to work hard. It's because it's not about me. It's about connection to the Supreme, connection to the very substratum of all of existence. And so, thank you for bringing that to humility. I had it in my notes. I wanted to bring it in. Okay, thank you, Mathura.
Krishna works.
Krishna works.
Yes.
Thank you, Damayanti.
Hare Krishna, thank you for your class. It's very enlivening, and I appreciate how deeply thoughtful you are, and taking your time and giving yourself to the experiment as well. So I very much admire your process, and you shared that you shared very emphatically that you are dedicated to the truth, and I can really relate to that. And I came to Krishna consciousness with a similar convictions. Like, this one main conviction in my life is like, whatever the truth is, I want to know what it is, and I want to be aligned with it, even if it's uncomfortable or strange or not what I want, or not, I want the truth. Like, yeah, just let that be known, and let everything fall where it falls. If I become a Hare Krishna, like, hey, like, that's what happened. um like, that's what happened. And in a way. But I wanted to share that in my process of like exploring, like, is this real? Is Bhakti Yoga the absolute truth? Is there a God? Like, I didn't even feel conviction that there was a personality of Godhead, or you know but the philosophy was intriguing, so I kept asking questions, and the philosophy was touching too. It wasn't just logical, it also touched me, that there would be a creator, like a source that was loving, and that there was an exchange of service, giving and receiving. Like, first of all, everything, I'm receiving everything, my own, like, I came into existence and I exist. Like, I'm just receiving everything. And then, would I like to give back? Devotional service, bhakti yoga. Well, yeah, that's actually really sweet. Like, I resonate with service, love, receiving, giving, with a person. Like, it's just touching. So I checked out the philosophy, of course, but I wanted to share that with the surrender process, the feeling of like, I'm surrendering surrendering in the, I guess I'm in a process of surrender, that it helped to build trust with other persons on the path. And of course, I came to Krishna consciousness with, asking questions and being curious with Dira Govinda Prabhu and Mother Malini. And so I felt like I started to feel a lot of like trust and them, and anxiety, like, well, what if they depart? Like, I think at one point they were traveling to another continent, and I was like, well, wait, like, if you die, what do we do? And they're like, go to Prabhupada. I'm like, yeah, but like, Prabhupada, I can't ask him questions. I didn't have any faith in, or not, or connection to Srila Prabhupada. And they're like, well, okay, but here's a few people you can ask questions to, but like, really, you could develop a relationship with Srila Prabhupada. And anyway, I just say that, like, developing trust with people that are practicing, and then developing trust with a spiritual master who's giving all this information about Krishna or God, um, the trust in others is helpful, and I would say needed to go all the way to God realization. Is like learning from others, especially learning from a spiritual master. So I wanted to share that. And then if you go to Krishna, you find out everything he says in Bhagavad Gita. It's like, wow, this is wisdom beyond beyond like what I think a man, just a regular human, could write. It's seeming transcendental, it's resonating, it's logical, it's touching, it's amazing, it's comprehend. It's like, just incredible. So then, eventually developing trust that, yeah, Krishna might be the source of everything. I'm open. Why not? Who am I to say he's not? He's saying it, he is. Anyway, um, so I just wanted to share my journey with like being open to God, and truth, dedicated to truth, and why can't the truth be a person? And like, it's, anyway, and I love Krishna consciousness, and I'm so grateful. And thank you.
Thank,
Bye.
thank you, Damayanti. Thank you very much for your sharing. And yes, you're relating with what I was sharing, because you are in this process as well of surrender, and that is coming from this fierce dedication to truth, whatever truth is, whether it's uncomfortable or not. And if it means I'm going to be a Hare Krishna, so be it. This is, I want truth. Yeah. And on your path, you're realizing that trust in other humans, in other persons, is of tremendous support to you, even to the point where there is fear. Well, what if they disappear and then I'm lost again? And then you were offered, yeah, well, there's Srila Prabhupada. You can go directly to him because he is our. Not that I've realized that, but I've understood it. That he's our living link to Krishna, and so and we're fortunate that there's tons of material. Although listening to him is like learning a different language. I was saying that to David yesterday. Can't understand half the words, but I'm sure I can get that. So yes, thank you for sharing, Damayanti, of your process around bhakti and finding yeah, it makes sense. And the Bhagavad Gita just can't have been written by Mr. Smith. It just there is something a bit more sublime to it. Thank you, Damayanti. Anyone?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
My question is, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada said, we don't have to worry about keeping body and soul together.
Uh-huh.
But then Srila Prabhupada also says that health comes first.
Yeah. Thank you.
So how do we, it
Yeah.
seems like a contradiction. Could
Yes.
you clear that contradiction up for me?
I am pretty certain I will not clear that contradiction for you, but I will speak to it, and hopefully inspiration will support your process of clarifying it. Because I read that and I thought, okay, and there are a couple of things here. So what can you remind me the phrase in the purport?
We don't have to. I think it's we don't have to worry about keeping body and soul together.
Krishna will see to it.
Krishna will see to it.
Yes. Okay. So, when considering that very passage, I was thinking, okay, this body. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. So this human body, as David has said or says regularly, it's like on rental. This body is actually part of the material manifestation. I didn't really manifest it. Maybe I co-manifested it, but really it's the propriety of Krishna. So he's looking after it, and I'm hiring it for the sake of self-realization. I'm coming into this body, and so yeah, like the landlord of a house. It's his house, and he's looking after it, and the tenant is also looking after the house. So so fundamentally, it's Krishna who is looking after it. And then you're talking about Srila Prabhupada saying health comes first in as a priority. Well, the way I see that is well, like the driver of the car analogy, the car I'm using, it's not me, and I care for it, for the service that it is providing for me. And the same with this body. This body, I get to work on self-realization, and particularly a human body, where we can ask all those questions: who am I? What is the truth? And how can I connect with the truth? So this body, and the gross material body and the subtle body, mind, and the emotional body, if I don't look after them, well, the chances of me being able to maintain even a sadvic life are really, really limited. So it's also about caring for this rental, looking after it. It's not just, oh, I'll just deliver the soul, and who cares about the body? No, actually the body is intrinsically connected. For me, right now, I am intrinsically connected with the body, even though I'm not the body, and therefore I need to look after it as a whole, as a part of the whole, alongside the spirit, soul, and time.
I appreciate the discussion. I appreciate the discussion. Srila Prabhupada, in this regard, he'll often quote the first text of Ishopanishad, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagat yam jagat tena tena bunjita magvida kasya svitanam. That like there's an arrangement for anyone, for everyone. Om Purnam, every living entity has its quota. Prabhupada will give the example, like there are billions, maybe tens of millions of elephants in the jungles of Africa and India, and they don't chant japa, and they don't rise early for morning program, and they don't study Bhagavad Gita, and they're not engaged in bhakti, as far as the process of bhakti. But, and they, whatever, they eat like dozens of tons of food every day, and they're supplied for. So Prabhupada will say, like, look, all living entities are supplied for. Sometimes we might say, oh, there's starvations and that. That's, it just said, there's enough for human need, not enough for human greed. But basically, the supply is there. And so Prabhupada will say, like, yeah, so Krishna is supplying for everyone in all ways, in all ways, food and in all ways. And so Prabhupada will say, so if someone's dedicating their life to them with love and devotion, Krishna's not going to provide. Prabhupada gives that example. That and for me, it can seem like a contradiction. Thanks for your question, Matura Prabhu. But it's like, yeah. So then in performing bhakti, in endeavoring to do bhakti, then part of that, not as a separate endeavor, part of that, as like how you said, so the part of that is to care for the car, care for the vehicle, the hardware and the software in a spirit of bhakti, and Krishna is naturally providing, and and relatedly, this from the beginning, this verse spoke to me. Beginning for me, like going back to like 1980 or so, when I first started reading Prabhupada's books. That because like I'll say today, I've never been interested in religion, and I'm still not interested in religion. And then people go, that's really strange, because like you do like 6 hours per day in this chanting and these programs. I say, yeah, there's religion in the conventional sense. Like I'm like to join something, are you a Christian? Are you a Jew? To like a membership in a club or something. And since my mid-teens, I've been consciously excited about a process that creates transformation of heart and consciousness. And then now, as you've heard me say, and so many here know over many decades, I've been involved in developing and facilitating dozens and hundreds of processes, transformational processes. I'm blessed to do what I do, And by far the most powerful transformational process I know is this chanting Hare Krishna and reading Prabhupada's books. And so just in terms of like empirical experience, empirical evidence, this works as far as transformation of heart. And so and then related to the discussion a few minutes ago, yeah, and your question to me, I said, yeah, like, okay, realization of Krishna as a person, like, yeah, I don't have much. At the same time, I can say, yeah, I got substantially more than 45 years ago. And even a few millimeters of progress on this path for me is worth more than millions of miles of progress on any other path. And like, if I can progress another millimeter in whatever the time left in this body in the next 20, 30, 40 years, I'll consider that success. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, David.
Stephanie.
Is anyone going to respond? Or?
Oh.
So it was really interesting. I actually pulled up this quote accidentally while I was chanting earlier. I grabbed a book from the table.
And this happened to come up.
This happened to come up in like the last few sentences of that chapter that I was reading. And yeah, just this idea of, I liked the way that book translated it. It said something like surrender unto me, but in the form of like Krishna provides protection for whatever it might be, and that's just deeply comforting, and that's a different way for me. That's like a softer way than I notice I can have a lot of resistance around anything that is kind of judgy. I know, like, discernment is to make judgments.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But also, like, I notice in the texts in the Bhagavad Gita, for example, like this kind of dogmatic, like, superiority complex that I can experience, or like authoritarianism.
Like using language like should and things like that.
Yeah, and this is the highest authority, and sorry if this offends anybody.
Yeah, but you're sharing your experience.
Yeah, and it's challenging because I trust you, I trust my experience of chanting, like I trust my innate like attraction to the texts and a lot of the value that I've gotten through reading those, but also I think just in my life, like I developed like a healthy, protective distrust in certain ways of authority.
Yeah.
When there's any sort of hint of abuse or exerting power over.
Yeah.
Or
Top down.
Yeah.
Exploitation.
And so when I hear any languaging that is getting at that kind of something that feels to me like a power dynamic, or like, I know that it's not a forceful process, but it can feel for me like
the language can give the impression sometimes to you of force, oppression, repression. It's based on fear and things like that.
Yeah, and it's just like deeply scary. I don't know if I can trust that.
Yeah. There's fear there in your gut.
so much for sharing. What's your name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I really appreciate what you're sharing around the authority that is coming out and bringing so much fear and insecurity. And yeah, it touches you to tears, and I'm imagining there's a bit of confusion here. How can something so sublime come up with such authority that has got a bitter flavor to it? Yeah. Only yesterday with David Kaplan, we were having a conversation about this particular aspect of authority, and it's I was sharing with David, this is harsh for me too. It is harsh for me, and actually to celebrate David, the reason I'm here is because David at every corner, David and Anandini, at every corner, they both of you can soften that edge for me through understanding, and then I get, oh right, now I get what Srila Prabhupada means, and what I'm understanding from the language is he's just not playing.
He's just like
So actually, during the seminar, during the facilitation, we were a team facilitating the seminar last weekend. There were 7 of us, and yeah, sometimes we rub against each other, and I had my favorite stone to rub against, and sure enough, we rubbed against each other, and I had to. I chose to step up to facilitate a consciousness, raise my game, and handle this conflict in a different way. And what I found is that okay, I'll just bottle it and I'll keep quiet, or I could bulldoze over, and then I used to be really proficient at that, and I'm crossing my fingers that I used to, and I found myself finding that line in between, and that's the line of assertiveness. And when I expressed myself, and I checked in because I'm a novice at that. Afterwards, I checked in with a few people, and when I expressed myself, it was clear. It was solid. It was like, oh. And yet, there was care and responsibility. And so finding this fine line is hard for myself in terms of expressing, but also from receiving. It's like, oh, what's there? Because, yeah, my experience in social circumstances is people often, I experience either they don't say and then I need to take what's going on for you, or I'm just like, well, what are you doing? And so that line is very rare, actually, and this is why I'm engaged. Partly why I'm engaging in Sattva, because there's no surrendering to Krishna for me without staying on that fine line, sattvic line of communication. And this is what I'm understanding from Srila Prabhupada. So it has that funny taste of authority, but it's still not tyranny. And I need it translated often through David and Anandini.
Thanks for sharing. I appreciate the discussion. I'll just share something in case it's helpful for Stephanie or whomever. Just something, a perspective that's helpful for me. So like sometimes in Prabhupada's books, it can be foreboding like that. See, Sally Agrawal, who hosted Prabhupada in '66 in Butler, Pennsylvania, when he first came to the States, she said the Swami is so foreboding in his books and so accommodating in person. And, she said that, yeah, so accommodating. And so in the books, we'll see language like you should, you need to, and like kind of like the spirit of transformative communication. We trust everyone as the expert in their life, not telling them what you should do, what you need to. So it's like a conflict. I see it. It's not a contradiction. It's not a conflict. It's fully aligned. There's an assumption, and Prabhupada states that assumption right at the beginning. I think in the preface, I mean even before the introduction, he says like, yeah, just read Bhagavad Gita, just theoretically accepting that Krishna is who he says he is. You don't need to like blindly accept, just theoretically accept and see what you experience. Like do a thought exercise. So there's assumption that that those reading, you want self-realization. You want to realize who you are, who I am, as not the body, not the mind, as spirit, soul. And we want to develop love for God, love for Krishna. Now, Krishna says, just in three verses before this one, Krishna says, Vimishetad Yasheshena Yati Chasi Tataku. He says to Arjuna, I've spoken this Bhagavad Gita. Now do what you wish to do. Meaning, if anyone could force the issue, it would be Krishna. But he's not forcing, fully respecting Arjuna's self-determination, free will. So there's no force. Once there's force, there's no love. It's all about love. And so Prabhupada, there's an assumption that this is what we want. So like if that's what you want, then you need to do that. Just like an example we've often used, especially in our Bhagavad Gita course. Okay, let's say you want to you ask me, how can I get to the Hippodrome in Gainesville? I said, oh, you want to get to the Hippodrome? Okay. So, Stephanie, you need to go down 146th Avenue till you get to Route 235, and then you should make a left. And then you could say, who are you to tell me what I need to do? You could, and well, you have at 441 you have to go right to get. Who are you to tell me what I have to do? So it's like, look, Stephanie, you can do whatever you want. You know, you could go on I-75 north to Atlanta. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You said that your goal is the Hippodrome. So yeah, to get the Hippodrome, the most efficient way without going through San Francisco or something. To get to the Hippodrome, the most efficient way, yeah, you need to go left on 235. So that's what Prabhupada's doing. There's not. We all get to choose our goals, and the assumption is our goal is self-realization, realizing who we are, Satchitananda, spirit, soul, and developing love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I offer that in case it's helpful. Rachel.
Thank you. Thank you, Sylvan. Um, I appreciated this reading. I appreciate the discussion. Um, Searching for what I wanted to share. There you are.
Yeah, here I am.
Um, yes, really appreciating um the discussion around humility and the personal relationship and surrender to Godhead. And I'm appreciating how, like, for me, those two things have gone hand in hand recently. And feeling such gratitude because I had the realization within the last few days that yeah, I was really looking at like external things that I could do, to practice and be of service to the Lord and kind of do these things. And it was a very like Rajasic approach to my spiritual path. And I did feel like these things were supportive, the things that I was learning and beginning to apply, very supportive. And somehow I was led um, to really, really connect with just absolute need for surrender and care and love. And in that space, I was able to receive it in a way that I have never before. I can remember one time in my life really like crying out, crying out for love and support and this was like very, very, very deep. So I'm grateful for that. And then I also really appreciated you mentioned the verse about forgiveness, you know, that we're forgiven, like we don't have to do everything, of course, as you mentioned, like it's our responsibility. It's my responsibility. It's my responsibility what I do, how I show up, and being conscious and intentional about what I'm doing moment to moment with every person. And there's so much grace there. There's so much grace here for me, and opening up and receiving that grace has been really, really impactful for me. Um, and these are the things that I really deeply connected with in this session. And so I appreciate the co-creation of this event.
Mm. Thank you, Rachel, for giving yourself to the class and getting benefit through forgiveness. I'm guessing you mean the previous verse where um, Arjuna, you are my very dear friend, or is it the same verse and I'll Krishna will look to anyway. You connected with forgiveness, and for you this is um, crucial grace, and it's supported you. Um,
Yes. Yes. Perhaps it was spoken, perhaps it just like naturally came up from within me. Maybe what I was thinking of was like protection. Protection was mentioned. That's also resonating with me. Like upon surrender, I've experienced a lot of protection. And oh, and also you had mentioned at the end of, I think the first verse that you read, it's basically like, do not fear, be not afraid. And so like leaning on that relationship, which is personal and internal and not external, as I had been kind of wandering around, endeavoring to experience it. For me, the internal experience is very much like, yes, leaning on that promise, leaning on the promise that like I will protect you, I am protecting you, so fear not, be not afraid. And so I very much appreciated that verse, because I've been immersing myself um, in the word of no fear, faith, protection, safety, and yeah, so that also spoke to me.
Thank you. Yeah, you're experiencing solace and peace in this forgiveness, knowing that God has got your back, He's there, and He's going to give you protection, and that's come also on the back of playing around with surrender and humility, because you used to work, do the right thing, but in a rajasic way, and then that maybe lacked some humility, and so you've been connecting with humility that supported your surrender, and now you can allow the grace of protection to to come and support you.
Yes, thank you. And I think where I intuited forgiveness from, if it wasn't explicitly stated, was in the verse I remember hearing karma mentioned, like erasing karma. Um, yes, and so for me, that's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness it obliterates karma. It obliterates those things. So
Yes.
yes.
Yes, that's exactly what he said. He says, I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that is, it's like a breath of fresh air. Yeah, just, yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah.
Do we have time?
Please.
Do we have time?
We
Or
can go another 5 minutes or so.
I just wanted to say something you were bringing up is a lot of time we can get, I know this has happened for me, or it's like, okay, I'm just really supposed to fall in line into, if I want to follow Krishna consciousness or be a devotee, I gotta like fall in line and really follow and be submissive. And there's definitely an aspect to that, and there's a lot of power in that comes through in the philosophy, like you're saying, like there's strong words. But sometimes what we don't get, which is kind of more later in other scriptures, is how loving Krishna is, and how he accepts us fully, where we're at, 100%, and how he's here to shelter us. Like he's our greatest shelter, and when we feel, oh, he's here to shelter me, and he loves me, and his love is not like it is the love that's here. His love is unconditional. It's unmotivated. So he has no motivation. He'll never break it. So once we get in touch with that, like, oh my God, I'm so loved by Krishna. He has so much care for me. It's like if we get that, it's like being God struck. Like, oh my God, look at what's available here. This sublime, supreme person that just wants me and wants to take me and embrace me and give everything to me. Like Krishna's going, I own everything. Everything's mine. But I don't even care about this stuff. I just want to love you. He doesn't want to be God. He wants praying. He wants loving exchanges with his souls. And every soul is like a special flavor of that. So we can think, oh, I have this special flavor of love that I can have an exchange with Krishna. When I allow him to come in my life and purify the anartas, which the anartas means the unwanted things that are blocking my love. So that's the process. But oh my God, this supreme person, it's like if we could think the most amazing person in this world, with all the wealth, all the beauty, like who's your favorite actor? Like Brad Pitt, right? This guy just wants to like bring me in, hug me, say like, let's have an amazing relationship. Wow. So when we get that aspect of this opportunity, there is in this Gaudiya Vaishnav, Krishna conscious philosophy, it opens a whole other perspective. I just want
That
to
has
share
been
that.
my sense too. So thank you for giving word to that, though. That's really sweet.
I need to hear that. Like,
yeah, no,
I
need to hear that.
I've been trying to be a devotee for 30 years now. And I've been like, that's been missing in my life. I need to hear this like every day. How much Krishna loves me and accepts me and is sheltering me. If I don't hear that, I lose enthusiasm.
Thank you, Mathura. Anandini.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhakta Sylvan, for giving class. It was very soothing. I hope you will give many more classes. I'd like to hear. how you speak from your heart and with authenticity and humility. And all the discussion that followed it, I too like really wanted to hear how Krishna is the supreme savior, how he loves me and shelters me, and yeah, like even beyond, I want to like understand how he loves and protects me beyond my activities, beyond my body, beyond this life. Like how is he eternally present for us and protecting us and guiding us? And it was just all very, very soothing that you shared. And also, just surrender, the just. I don't find it so just, so simple. To actually, maybe there's something you want, something you have to share, some wisdom about how can we just surrender and just accept he is protecting us no matter what. How do we come to that place?
Yes.
Without suffering?
Without suffering, that's the key. Thank you, Anandini, for showing up and appreciating what's been co-created this conversation. And you're particularly touched by how is Krishna the savior, and because you also, like it has been mentioned, you also are longing for salvation, and that requires surrender. And you're how can we just surrender without suffering? Thank you. Unless David wants to pipe up, I'm going to leave that one as a rhetorical one. Even though I'd love to pour so much wisdom to you so that you could be totally freed from any suffering.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anandini.
Hare Krishna. I mean, okay, I've shared this sometimes in different contexts. So my experience, I first, in one sense, I entered Krishna consciousness in this lifetime. Early, in 1980, I started taking prasad. But when I was eating the samosas, I wasn't thinking, I'm doing service for God. This is for self-realization. So that was agyata sukriti, meaning like Krishna's trick. And Prabhupada said, prasad is our secret weapon. It worked on me. I'm holding a lot of resentment about it. Okay, so then, but then, okay, so starting in 83, I started like, okay, let me actually consciously try to engage in the process. Started chanting japa, moved into an ashram in Israel in 1984, and like, okay, let me consciously do this. So my experience for these 43 years, like that, is that when in Krishna consciousness, there is no suffering. There is no suffering, and it's rich, it's joy, it's fulfilling. There is no suffering. They said, "Oh, so you've been just like blissful and joyful with no suffering for these 43 years?" No, that's not what I'm saying. I've suffered a lot, and like not just decades ago, like yesterday and today, like that. So through my mind. So my understanding of philosophy and my personal experiences, when I'm resisting the surrender, when I'm acting not in Krishna consciousness, when I'm not aligned with my higher self, when my attachment to material attachments that prevent my surrender, that's the suffering. My attachment to the material attachments, that's the suffering. The Krishna consciousness part, I can say, whenever I've done that, whatever fraction of a percent of the time I've actually been in Krishna consciousness, there's not suffering. There's joy and richness and liberation. And my suffering is my investment in material attachments, gross and subtle. We'll close there. Bhagavad Gita ki.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Thank you, Bhakti Sylvan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. Thank you, Sylvan. That was great.
That was good.